Okay, Pudge fans, today I'm going to address the big question that has apparently come about in regards to buying singles or buying boxes. Back when I played games, trading card games real heavily, which was back in the late 90s and early 2000s, this was not a huge question. I mean, I think it was out there, but the internet wasn't as developed. We didn't talk constantly on the internet, at least not where I lived in Indiana. So I'm sure in other places that were more developed, maybe it was happening more. But, there just wasn't this huge argument. So I'm going to kind of just address this. And I did a little research, kind of looked at prices, how things have been selling and whatnot. And just kind of want to talk about it. So if, I am assuming that everyone that intends to play the game has purchased this. This is the thing you should be buying for $40 to start playing Sorcery. If your intent is to play, you should buy one of these. This is an amazing deal for $40. I am not aware of any other trading card game that offers something for this price that's this amazing. You basically get 4 decks that they're not quite what we would call constructed legal, but they're playable right out of the box, and you only have to add a handful of cards to make them a true constructed deck. So if you are starting to play this game, make sure that you pick up the 4 Elements Pre-Con for $40. They're still out there. They're still available for that from various retailers. So make sure you get one of those to start. I am assuming that that is how you started with what I'm about to discuss, okay? That you started playing the game, you bought that pre-con. Now, your other options then at that point, once you've got your pre-con, are you going to buy boxes, right? You're going to take those big risks and open these things up and see what happens? Or are you going to go out there and say, hey, I like to play, and I just pulled a bunch of random cards from my air deck. I want to play an air deck and I need to buy these cards, let's say, or, there's some other, cards that you wanted to buy or whatever. I'm just going to buy these cards and that's how I'm going to play. I don't like going this route, but this is definitely right off the bat. If you just want to leave right now, this is more economical, without a doubt. In fact, right now, if you go and buy a full box of beta at retail, or not a full box, a full case of beta, right, at retail, if you can get it for $900, which you can, there are places out there still offering it, $900 for a case, shipped to your door. This is in the US, of course, okay? You spend $900, you open 6 of these boxes. I can tell you right now, I've opened 11 beta boxes. I do not have a complete beta play set. I do not have it. Because of the duplication problems in the boxes specifically, that is probably going to happen to you too. It's just the way it is. So if you're looking solely to play, then what you want to do is get on one of the marketplaces, and I took a look around. There was someone offering a full beta play set. So 4 copies of each ordinary, 3 copies of every exceptional, 2 copies of every elite, 1 copy of every unique. They were offering that whole package, plus 1 of every avatar, of course, play sets of the sites and all that, for $950. Now, that was a super good deal. Most of the people I saw posting a full beta play set, we're looking at about $12 to $12.50. That was where a lot of them were falling. But there was one person who had posted it for $9.50. So, running off of that premise that you can get a full beta play set, everything you need to play the game for $1,200, that's much better than dropping $900 on 6 boxes of randomness. If you're only in it to play, to have every card, to be able to play, whatever combination you want, buying a full beta play set for $1,200 is definitely the way to go. Now, some of you are saying, I don't have $1,200. I don't have $900. Are you out of your mind? Okay, I get that. I remember those days. I'm glad I'm not in those days anymore. But for those of you that still are, that are young, that are up and coming, and you're still looking to, find the way to make money or whatever it is, secure your financial goals and all that good stuff. Your goal is probably like, okay, I want to be able to play and I can trade. If I build a decent deck, if I buy a few singles, I can go out there and then I can trade those as I want to swap and, trade out and play a different type of deck. I can trade the good cards or whatever. So again, we're assuming you spent $40 on this. You spent your $40, you've got this as your base. And then you go out and you say, okay, I'm going to spend, let's say, and I'm just going to throw this out here, $300. I'm going to spend $300. You can buy 2 boxes of beta for $300 and open them up and hope you get the cards you want. Or for $300, right now you can go on to the various marketplaces that are out there, Discord, Facebook. I think Reddit has a community, though I'm not part of that one. Wherever. eBay, TCG Player, and for $300, you can find a full set of ordinaries, a full play set of ordinaries, right? Like 4 copies of every ordinary for like $50. A full copy or a full play set of every exceptional is going to run you a little bit more. Those were kind of wild. They were a little all over the place. They were like $100 or $150. It just depends who you get it from, okay? So let's say that's the option you take with your $300. So you've spent, let's say, $125 and $50 for the ordinary. So you spend $125 for all the exceptionals. You spend $50 for all the ordinary. So you've blown $175. You got $125 left. Then you can go in and you can start buying some of the higher end cards you need. Now here's the thing. All right, Grandmaster Wizard, wonderful card, probably the best error card in the game in terms of elites, right? This card right now on TCG Player is $5.50. Okay, $5.50 for this. And here's the best part. You get one of these in your starter set. So if you've spent the $40 on your starter set, you just got to get one more of these. You got a play set. Boom, you're done, right? $5. Then, you go and you say, okay, well, now I want to get, something more expensive. Let's say you want a mechanism. Mechanism's $10 right now. $10. Browse is $13, right? That's not bad, $13. Now, if we start getting into this stuff, okay, well, most of the cores are going to run you between 60 and 70. So that's kind of high end. But here's the thing. You can make tons of great playable decks without cores, without stones, okay? I have decks that do not have cores. They do not have stones. I do like to run mixes in those decks because they tend to be fast decks. But mixes are like $7 to $10 depending upon which flavor it is. So, those again are very affordable. So if you're in it just to play, I would say you've got your pre-con, you spend another $300. Yeah, go out, get a full set of ordinaries to play with, a full set of exceptionals to play with, and then buy up the elites and uniques you want. Because here's the thing, Grandmaster Wizard, right? We just talked about him. He's $550. All the other air elites, the Highland Falconeer is $2. The Observatory, which is a site, is $7. Everything else is $1 or less. Every other elite card for air is $1 or less. And air is the most expensive in terms of elites, just in terms of what has the most value. If you get into the other, not air, obviously. If you get into like Earth, right? In Earth, there is only one card holding above $1. And that one card is Earthquake, which of course I don't have one of in this grouping here. But Earthquake, is $2. And all these other Earth cards are less than a dollar or less, right? So in terms of getting the rares, the elites that you need, you're going to spend a very, very minimal amount of money. Now, when we start getting into the uniques, that's a whole different story. Your uniques are going to run quite a bit more, although not terrible. So, for example, Dream Quest is $7 right now. I think Lord of the Void's $6. Ultimate Horror was $5. I think King of the Realm was $2.50, and you get King of the Realm in your pre-con, so you don't even need to buy this guy. Star Seeds is like $3, right? So, in terms of what you can buy with a $300 investment, I guess we'll say $340 because you've already dropped $40, right? On your pre-con. But in terms of what you can buy for $300, if you're just in it to play, it's definitely the way to go. I didn't think that would be true, but because of the real problem with randomness and how random these boxes are, and there are some real stinkers out there in terms of these boxes, and then there are some killer boxes. But if you don't want to roll those dice, either find the person that has a full beta play set, if you've got that kind of money, and just buy it, right? Spend the $1,000 to $1,200 to get a full beta play set. If you don't have that much, if you're dealing with about $300, which I feel like $300 is kind of an average investment for a card game. If you really are going to get into it and play deeply. Now, if you're just casual, you don't even need to do that. But if you're going to play deeply, right, you're going to want, a full copy of every ordinary. You're going to want a full copy of every exceptional. You're going to want those. Now, of course, the big downside of not going boxes are these wonderful little guys. You're not going to have any. So you've got the cores and the Philostone, you've got copies of everything you can play, but you're not going to have any foils if you just go the route of buying that full beta play set or just buying the singles you need. Because obviously if you're trying to maximize your money, you're not going to spend extra on the foils, okay? So that is going to be the one drawback. So if you like, this full art, if that's something you really want, then you got to roll the dice. And I'm sorry to tell you that. That's what you're going to have to do. Unless, maybe you skip cores and stones completely. So you're only buying, you're paying $5 for Grandmaster Wizards and $2 for Earthquakes. You're not spending a lot of money on high-end uniques. Maybe you're buying some of the $5 and $10 uniques. You spend $10 on Mechanism, and then you buy, some of these like, you pay for the commons. A lot of them are $3 to $5 a piece. So you buy a play set of, foil grapple shots for $20. And I think they're $5 a piece. I could be wrong on that. I didn't check that. So, but just roughly. So you go out there and you spend, that to get a few foils into your collection. That's one way to do it. Now, the other crazy alternative, and the one that, is for someone who wants a little bit of both worlds, is you take that $300, you buy one box for $150, you buy that box, that's what you got. You crack it, and then you see what you get. Did you get a play set of every ordinary? Or did you get a play set of the ordinaries that matter to you? Like Grapple Shot, you're going to want a play set of. Apprentice Wizard, you're going to want a play set of. Those cards, those ordinary cards that common sense, that everyone likes to use. Did you get play sets of those? If you did, okay. Now, all you're really worried about are exceptionals, and maybe there's some elites you didn't get in the box, which there will be, or uniques or whatever. So you've got $150 left, and you say, okay, I opened a box. Let's say you did okay. Let's say you didn't even get a unique foil, but you got 2 elite foils or, whatever. You can trade off those foils, right? Trade them off towards some of the elites you need, or sell them off towards some of the elites you need. And you take your extra $150 and whatever money you make on selling off some of the foils, and you get those last elites that you need. Maybe buy yourself a full play set of exceptionals. So drop another 100, 125 for that full play set of exceptionals. And then, maybe you've got $50 to $75 to work with. I mean, if you're got crazy lucky and you got a curio or something stupid, great. But that's not going to happen, all right? More than likely, it's not going to happen. Maybe you got lucky, you got a unique foil. You saw that unique foil for $60 or $80. Okay, you got a lot of money to play with them when we're talking about buying these, $2, $1 elites, right? Or you can just spend all that money and say, okay, I want, an amethyst core or an onyx core, and you buy that. So that's just kind of the different strategies to getting into play, depending upon your budget. I know 300's probably a lot for a lot of people. I know that is, especially right now around the holidays. But, if you're going to get in, I feel like a $300 investment is probably pretty normal. In fact, I think some people would say that's on the low end to really get into a card game. I could be wrong, though, but, that's kind of what I think 300 is a pretty normal startup investment into a card game. If you're going less than that, if you've only got $100 or whatever, get this and just focus in on, maybe one or two elements and just buy the cards that you need. I will say, I was shocked. I looked at Blink on TCG Player. Blink was 3 cents a card. This is one of the best common or one of the best ordinaries in the game, and it's 3 cents a card. So, you can definitely get the ordinaries you need pretty cheaply. I'd obviously try to buy a bigger lot if I was in that position. So, but other than that, that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. Hope it's helpful. For the future of the channel, I've got one more box of beta, which actually is this one here that I'm going to be opening. Probably do that just after Christmas. We'll crack that one. And then, I don't know what else I'm going to do. I may talk about, values or maybe even improving upon decks or something like that. I know a lot of folks are really looking for strategy and how to play and all that type of thing. I'm just going to tell you up front, that is not my forte. I spent most of my gaming career being a judge. I was the guy that knew the rules and that interpreted the rules, and that's what I did. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do with Sorcery if they get that judge program open. But I'll do some things, as a judge, you do pick some things up and learn some things. But I'm never going to be this high-end competitive player who wins all the tournaments. That's not me. But I can certainly, look at what those other players did do and bring that information to you because I do talk to a lot of folks and that. But other than that, that's kind of where we're at. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we will see you later.